And welcome to week 5 of Walk the Plank, the Perry Athletic Department podcast that takes a dive into the week that was Perry Athletics, and we look forward to the week coming up as well. Joined, as always, by my co-host here, Gene Winters. Thanks for being here again, Gene.
Yeah, it's the exciting part of the season now. You're getting into the conference tournaments and sectionals and eventually districts and all the way down. It's a nice time for the fall sports. Yeah,
and we've had some excitement right off the bat, made some school history, so we're going to get right down to it here with Coach Dame, as you can see, joined by our head boys golf coach, Bob Dame. We had our sectional tournament out at Quail Hollow just Monday. We're shooting this Wednesday morning. It's about 10:30, and happy to report, Coach Dame, for the first time in school history, we are district qualifying team on to the district level, which we will play at Windmill Lakes here next week. So let's just talk a little bit about the day that was Monday. And again, first time in school history. I went back and checked the record books just so everybody's good. We have a pretty impressive stack. If anybody out there ever wants to come look at all of our end of season reports, they date back to the mid 70s.
Right.
So we have them all there laid out. They're in notebooks. And if anybody ever wants just to go on a little bit of a historical run, more than welcome to come in and take a look. It's actually pretty impressive. So I went through every single year. In 2002, we missed by 2 strokes. Right. We were right there. We qualified, and actually we're only 1 shot out of being a sectional champion. Right. Edgewood beat us by 1 shot. Chagrin followed us by 1 shot, and then there was a little bit of a gap. But very exciting time. The boys really came to play. I'll just go through the scores, and then I'll let you talk about the day.
Sure.
Benjamin Dame shot 76. Bronson Denholm 80. Russell Ford 87. Carson Porcello 87. Those are the 4 scores that counted. So for those who don't know, you have 5 golfers out there, and 4 of their scores count. Preston Rupert was our 5th golfer that day, but we didn't use his score. But you never know. Maybe we'll use it this week coming up at Windmill Lakes for the district event. But just talk about the day that was our first ever district qualifying team accomplishment.
Well, and to start on that note, you know, when you said it's a team event and 5 guys, and Preston has been one of our most consistent golfers throughout the year. So it's a nice problem to have. Yeah. Just same with Ryan Dragon, who is our 6th guy who didn't get even a chance to play. Yeah. I have all the confidence in the world in all of those guys. So that's what's nice to have a solid team like we have. As far as how the day went, so, most tournaments or matches, we, just the kids go out and play. They keep score on their scorecard, all this kind of stuff. So in these bigger sectional tournaments, they use a scoring app. And so what's happening is it's constantly updating the score. So we were in the first wave, and then there was a second wave. And our score, on the app is looking great. I'm like, all right, I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is good stuff. And knowing that the other teams were about even with us, but they still had 4 or 5 holes to play. Yeah. So we started off fantastic. We kind of faded down at the end a little bit, but that's to be expected. These kids, whether they're playing in their just with their dads or whatever or moms, they start to think about the score. So when you're in a tournament and that things are going well, it was tough at the end. But in fact, one of our freshmen, Carson Porcello, he had the quote of the day, at least in my mind, was, he goes, Coach, and this was like on the 17th hole, he goes, I played so well on the front 9. And he goes, I did get a little nervous on the back end. And he goes, I'll learn from this, and I'll grow from this. And like, just to hear that and that understanding was fantastic. Yeah. So no, it was a great team effort. The other thing I'll say is, when you get into tournament play, especially on a place like Quail Hollow, where I would contest, all the other sectionals did not play a course as hard as what we just played. Sure. To play basically at your average, like Benny played below his average, Bronson played below his average, Russell and Carson played right at their averages. So to get that type of in those type of conditions was fantastic.
Well, and Russell and Carson both had 36. Was that on the front?
So Russell had a 36 and Carson had a 39.
39. And then, a little bit of a struggle down the stretch,
Right.
like Carson said, like he alluded to. He struggled, he got a little bit nervous.
Right.
It's a little, just like in baseball, the last 3 outs are the hardest to get. The last probably 3 or 4 holes in golf are hard to finish.
Yeah, and in Carson's case, so on the 8th hole, which is a par 4, and he had like a 50-foot putt, and I was just talking to one of the other coaches, and Ryan Dragon was with me, and he goes, Coach, he made it. And I said, what do you mean? And he made a 50-footer for birdie. And so he's riding high, and he was, it was fun to watch. As a coach, I'll be honest with you, I got a little superstitious. I started following Carson more than anybody because we're doing well as a team. He was doing well, and but it worked out.
Yeah. As you're following it on the app, are you letting the boys know how close they are?
No, I'm trying not to. But that's the hard part about the app is, they can see it.
They can see it.
And the way what happens is one person per group puts the scores in, but they're all on there. Yeah. So they have the ability to. Now, I did ask them afterwards, I go, how often did you guys look? And they said hardly at all. Yeah. But that doesn't mean the other kids from the other teams aren't watching the app. Like I know the Hawking kid says to me, he goes, boy, you guys are doing pretty good. And the coaches are saying, yeah, you guys are doing pretty good. So these kids are hearing it. Yeah. And so that was the mental part.
And we talked with you about this in when you were on, and then also with Bronson and Benny the last couple of weeks. Playing Quail Hollow 2 weeks in a row, did you see the scores jump a little bit? Were they the same? Where did that advantage come in playing it for CVCs then?
Sure. No, I think that definitely helps us. But in fairness, a lot of the teams had that happen too because we were basically competing against other CVC teams to advance. So it was kind of an even playing field in that sense. What I liked to see was the mental grind that they had because I watched Bronson. And I tried to stay away from Bronson and Ben because they were playing well, and I'm like
let's let them go.
But I did see there was a bout of rain, and Bronson had a rough hole, but he came right back, and the next 2 holes he played great, and then he had a birdie, he had a par in there, so they came back from poor shots or poor holes. That was the difference. Yeah. Where you see some kids, they just go into almost melting down, it's like one after another. So they showed a lot of mental strength, so that was great.
So 330 was our team score. Again, Edgewood finished 329, Sugar Falls finished 331. So we're sandwiched in there. That's just how competitive it is, down to literally 1 stroke between 5 players on the course. What was our score the week before when the Sugar Valley Conference played out there? So we're 330 sectional. What were we?
I think we're 336.
That's what I thought.
336.
So a couple of, at least a whole improvement from each player, or 1 shot improvement for each player. So what do we know about Windmill Lakes? That's where the district tournament will be next Tuesday, September 30th. We tee off at 9 a.m. What's the game plan for Windmill Lakes? Are we going out there to practice? Are they going to get to see the course? How are we attacking this week?
Yeah, we're definitely. So none of the kids, I think only one, I think Russell has played the course. Okay. None of the other kids have played. We are playing a practice round. We're going out there today. Hopefully the weather holds off and we can get 9 holes in today. They're a very busy golf course. Yeah. And then we are having a practice round on Friday, going back out there to play 18 holes, kind of get a feel for the course. Like I say, I can't imagine. I've played there once. I don't remember it being like crazy. It is Kent State's golf course.
Right.
So obviously it's a high-level golf course. Yeah. But the conditions at Quail this weekend, I think were a huge preparation for any golf course that we're going to play. The greens are slick, they're very undulated, and that is, can be the most frustrating part of the game.
Right, for sure.
So. And do we follow the same rules? Top 3 teams advance? How does this districts work?
Yeah, so now what you'll do is you have, I think there's 6 different sectionals that come together to make up this district. The top 3 teams will advance, and then the top 3 individuals. There's also, so you have those teams, and you also have the individuals that advanced from those selected sectionals as well. So obviously the the competition ramps up. But the other good thing is, like I know on the other sectional side, Orange, that is in our conference and that we played with, and we actually beat this year head-to-head twice. They had the lowest score out of all the sectionals. We have talked about the one boy from West Geauga who's very good.
Yep.
I mean, he was in our sectional, so Ben was only a couple strokes behind
two
him.
strokes behind him.
So we've played with these kids. We aren't going to be intimidated by it. I don't think we're definitely not going to be intimidated by the golf course. Now, does that mean we're going to play great? I hope so, but it's not a guarantee. But I don't think that they're going in, unprepared.
And really looking forward to even into next year. Obviously, we're focused on this next week and things like that, but 5 of our 6 are going to be returning too. So any experience you can get, I think that's what I've seen over the years in any sport across the board. You can get somewhere at a high level and compete and just have the experience. Whatever happens next week is sort of cherry on top, or if we can play really well. And obviously, advance state, that's the goal. But if not, we're going to go down there and compete and get these guys the experience that they need. And I know the boys are excited. There's a buzz around school about it a little bit. Village Pub is shout out to the Village Pub. They're going to give our team a pregame meal on Monday night. So thank you to the pub for that. But exciting time. And just congratulations and best of luck, Coach. We really are looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
We'll update everybody because we won't shoot our pod until next Wednesday. So I'll be out there Tuesday following you along, and we'll update everybody on Twitter, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks,
Thank
Coach
you.
Dame.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you. All right.
Yeah.
Coach Dame and the boys getting after it. Like you said, going out to Windmill today and then Friday again to get prepped for next week's district tournament.
And the other on the girls' side for golf as well, they have their CVC was last week, and they have their districts coming up tomorrow.
Tomorrow out at Punderson, finished second at the CVC tournament last week out at Erie Shores, and finished third overall for the entire year, but finished second. Beat Edgewood, which had gotten us in the regular season. Geneva ended up being the champions of the league overall, but a nice second place finish last week. Jill Peters shot an 81 to lead the way for the Pirates, former athlete of the week here. So we'll be following them tomorrow. Because we only lost to Geneva by 1 stroke. Yep. They shot 395, we shot 396. So we're right there, and we'll see what happens tomorrow out at the sectional tournament out at Punderson for girls golf, and wish them nothing but the best of luck tomorrow as they go out and 18 holes. We'll see what happens and go from there.
Yeah, it should be another exciting round for them, and it's something that they've been looking forward to. And the same rules apply for the girls as we just talked about with Mr. Dame. Three teams,
so 3 individuals. So if we don't make it out as a team, we'll have some golfers with a chance to make it out as an individual onto that district level as well.
Perfect.
All right, we're going to transition. We have a special guest joining us this week. Matt Herman is our announcer here. He does a lot of announcing for us at Perry, so you've heard him introducing basketball games, volleyball matches, soccer. He does it all for us here when his schedule permits. He's a pretty busy guy. He's got announcing gigs all over the place. He's part of the Miracle League out with the Lake County Captains. Matthew, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
All right.
Great to be here.
Good. Thanks for being here. We appreciate your time. Just talk a little bit about your experience from an announcing standpoint, and how did you get started with the Miracle League? Let's start there. How did that all start for you?
So the Miracle League, I was at a hot stove dinner at the Captains, and the mayor of the city of East Lake, Dennis Morley, was promoting it, and I asked if I can be a part of it, and he's like, sure. So I've been this is my 7th year doing the Miracle League.
7 years now with the Miracle League. And tell us a little bit about that experience and what all is involved in doing a Miracle League a game experience. What is your role there? What do you do?
I'm the public address announcer. I announce batters. We do announcements in between innings.
Okay.
I play music and all kinds of stuff.
All right. So you're a DJ as well as an announcer. All right. And then how did you transit? So I'm assuming, but you tell us, that experience with the Miracle League then sort of transitioned you into working for other schools? Because you're, like I said, you're a busy guy. Your schedule's pretty full from announcing. You announce at other schools.
Yes.
And some other things. So how did that come about because of the Miracle League?
No, I think I
No?
started the schools before the
Oh,
Miracle League. 'Cause I think
okay.
the Miracle League started like in 18 or 19.
Okay.
What schools did you start at?
East Lake Middle, I still do Broadmoor games. Once I graduated high school, I did an internship at Broadmoor,
Okay.
and I've been doing their play-by-play on video since like 2015. I don't do every game, but I do like 4 or 5 games a year for Broadmoor.
Okay.
What made you interested in announcing or sports or staying in that realm? Because a lot of people are afraid of public speaking. Obviously, you're doing a ton. So what drew you to that?
I guess when I was a kid growing up listening to Joe Tate and just got into sports and wanted to be involved in sports.
Well, that's awesome, and we love having you out at Perry. Let's talk a little bit about. There's a big Miracle League event next week. Is that correct?
Yeah.
October 2nd, first
Yeah.
night game.
I will be here that night.
You're putting Perry in front of the Miracle
for
League.
volleyball, but
We do have a volleyball match next Thursday.
Annie
guys.
Klein will be doing the announcing that
Okay,
night. She
got it.
follows me on Saturdays. I announce the first 4 games, and then she follows me.
Okay.
Well, how many games do we play in a day?
There's 9 games on a Saturday. I do
Okay.
the first 4, and she does like 2 or 3 after.
Okay. And then how long do those games last?
About an hour.
So that's a long day.
They play 2 innings. Yeah.
Okay.
And as this evolves with the lights and everything else, how exciting is it for you to see from 2018 to where you are now, all these individuals come
Yeah, I
through?
mean, I think we started with maybe 4 games. Now we have 9. It was like over 300 athletes now.
And for people that want to come out, it's right at the corner, right at
Right.
Classic Park, right at the corner of
Right.
East Lake or Vine and
Vine in 91, yeah.
Vine in 91. And that's every Saturday?
Yeah, this week's our last Saturday.
Okay. Well, this coming Saturday. So if you want to see Matt, you're going to be out there?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
What time?
Our first game starts at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Matt Herman will be there right at Classic, Captain Stadium, I should say, correct?
And yes, and I believe from 9 to noon, the North Marching Band will be there
all right.
performing.
Perfect.
Do you
All
have
right.
a favorite sport that you announce?
Basketball.
That was quick. That was very fast. So not that you don't like the other sports, but why do you like basketball?
'Cause I just started doing basketball, so I just like doing it.
Well, there's more talking, too.
Yeah.
Right? You get to talk more in
Yeah.
basketball. Soccer,
Soccer.
it's a little boring,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, goals, but like
yeah, there are not a lot of those.
no, basketball. It's just fast moving. So
Yeah.
is volleyball too. That's fast moving.
Yeah, volleyball, there's a point. How do you announce a volleyball match?
So-
For those of you who don't, if you've not been to a volleyball match.
I announced.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
No,
The
you're good.
teams what team gets the point. I announced the server, substitutions, and stuff like that.
Okay. And then, obviously, for soccer, you're doing the same thing. You're doing intros of the teams
Right.
beforehand. We're playing the national anthem. There's your DJ role, right? You're playing
Right.
the national anthem. And then are you announcing subs there? And obviously goals.
Yeah.
But like we said
Yeah.
already, goals aren't
Yeah.
highly involved there. And then basketball, there's a lot.
Yeah,
Every time
basketball.
there's somebody scores.
Right, and then fouls. And traveling.
Traveling. Okay, what's your favorite call to make in a basketball game? Is it a three-pointer?
Yeah, probably 3.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I like that. So who did you learn from? Did you pattern yourself off of anybody? We've had several announcers, for whatever reason, come out of the Wickliffe area.
Yeah.
Not that you're from where you live. You're not from
East
Wickliffe.
Lake.
You're in East Lake, so close by. But like people like Scott Tennant.
Yeah.
And then, did you ever know Ray Milovic?
Yes, I knew Ray. I learned a lot from Ray.
So Ray, I think you have a similar 3-point. Like he got into his
Yeah.
3-point call pretty good, and he's unfortunately passed away.
Right.
But Scott Tennant does a lot of announcing for Ray and for his foundation. So Scott actually donates a lot of his money that he makes from announcing
scholarship.
to a scholarship and Ray's honor every year, and Scott does. He's doing stuff for the captains now.
Yes.
He's doing stuff for Cleveland State. He's just like you. He's
Yeah.
all over the place.
I filled
He's a
in-
popular guy.
I filled in for Scott like 3 times at Wycliffe already for soccer.
Yeah, because he's off doing
Yeah.
other stuff, right? Okay.
Are Guardians going to hold on?
I think so. That game last night was
Yeah.
very exciting.
Very
Yes.
exciting. I got a chance to go down. Mr. Riley got me last minute tickets to go.
Okay.
So I was there, and it was crazy. The whole Scooble thing between the legs,
Yeah.
and man, that was nuts.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they hang on. That's the plan. We need to get
Yeah.
one tonight
Yep.
and just put it a little distance, right?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Anything else you can think of?
Not really.
Okay. When are you back here at Perry?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow we've got
Volleyball.
what? We've got volleyball tomorrow.
Against West G, right?
West G. It's a big match. We're going to talk to a couple of our volleyball girls here in a second.
All right.
But yeah, they're gonna. We're playing West G with a chance to put a wrap on a CVC championship. So it's a big match tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, Matt Herman, special guest of the week. Thanks for being here, Matt.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, my friend. We will see you tomorrow for volleyball.
All right.
You can hang out over there. We'll bring up our volleyballers. It's a good transition since we talked a little bit. Oh, grab that chair, Mallory or Megan. There we go. We'll sort of.
Nope. Bring that with you. And as volleyball gets situated, you kind of talked about it. 8-5 on the season, 6-0 within the CVC. Last week, Lutheran West and Geneva win. So a big week last week for the Pirates.
Yeah, definitely. And girls, welcome to the show. Congratulations. Let me give you these first. So you get your free DQ meal deal and a blizzard. So thank you, as always, to Marie and the crew down at the Perry DQ for their support of our Athlete of the Week program. And ladies, yeah, we're on a good run here into league play. Started the year off with 3 really tough matches, right, at the Hudson tournament, playing Hudson, Walsh Jesuit, and Riverside, and sort of did that on purpose. Not that we wanted to be 0-3 on the year or anything like that, but that experience, I think, will come back and help us as we get, into that postseason tournament play and sectionals and districts and all that kind of stuff. But right now, our focus is, that CVC championship, and with West G coming here tomorrow. Orange today. So one thing at a time, right? We're at Orange today, Wednesday afternoon. And then if we win that match, we've beaten Orange at home already. If we win tonight, and then we have West G tomorrow, and we win that, we'll have wrapped up at least a share of the CVC. So what does that mean to you guys as seniors? You're both seniors on the team, senior leaders, a chance to repeat as CVC champs. What does that mean to you guys?
I feel like it's definitely hard being a senior.
Yeah.
It's like there's pros and cons,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's important for us to take on the role and make sure everybody bonds together and bring everybody together so we can all play together.
Awesome.
Was that a goal at the beginning of the year to make sure you guys were repeat as CVC champions?
Yeah, I feel like it's always just been a big thing to like bond together because especially being friends off the court helps us play on the court, so it just really helps.
And for you guys talking about that senior group, usually it's a nice group that has played together from Pee Wee or rec all the way to the high school level. So what has this group meant to the two of you?
It really means a lot to us because we've played together for so long and it's so easy to talk to each other or help each other no matter what, inside and outside of the sport. And we just support each other and cheer each other on no matter what. That's a big part of it. Playing is obviously a big part, but also having support for all of your teammates is a really big part of the sport. Cheering and energy gets us most of our points. So yeah.
All right, and as seniors and leaders, we talked to you guys yesterday, let you know that you're our athletes of the week, and you're both a little surprised, but it's the coach told me, we send it out to our coaches every week. All right, who do you want to nominate? And he didn't hesitate to nominate you guys. His comments to me were that you both closed out the last 2 matches for us over the last week or so. So tell us about that, and what is your role? When he says that you close out a match, what does that mean to you guys? What did you guys accomplish for us?
Well, for me, we were playing Geneva and it was 25-26.
Yeah.
And I subbed in and I went back to serve and we won the point and it was 25-20, what was it? 25-27?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then it ended the game.
That was the match.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was
okay.
really good.
Yeah, I
Megan?
feel like the same for me. Whenever I closed it out, we were playing Lutheran West, and it was a very tough game.
Yeah.
And I felt like just like serving and helping my team was like, I don't know, it was like a highlight kind of. I
Yeah.
got to serve like 6 or 7 times, and it was like really fun.
That's awesome. Well, that's a good run, and it's one of those things that I think it's important for everybody to sort of hear different levels of stories and sort of the background, and everybody's the important thing is everybody's got a role. So whether it's you're playing every single point of every single match, or you've got a role to fill, and when you are asked to fill the role, you guys stepped up and did that, and it's a huge part of a team, and we wouldn't be as strong if we didn't have everybody sort of clicking together. And at the same time, like, you guys you've stayed the course. You are seniors. You're getting your chance to play and be part of a program that wins the CVC championship, hopefully over the next couple matches, and then makes a good run into the postseason. But it's not always easy. Like, you guys you've played freshman, you've played JV. You haven't been, playing a ton of varsity. So I think it's a great story for our kids to hear about that. It's not always like people are going to come in as freshmen and play from the very beginning. It happens. Obviously, you look at like an Emily Meckenbauer. She comes in and she's playing right away. She's 6'2".
Yeah.
She's going to come and play. That's part of the sport of volleyball. But I think it's an awesome story to tell that you guys have stayed the course. You've stayed with it. You love playing with your teammates. You love being together, and now you're getting that chance to play as seniors. So if there are kids, we had a Nick Meckenbauer comes to mind last year with basketball. If there's kids out there that are frustrated with playing time as a sophomore or junior, and you have to play JV, it's not always easy, but you put the time in, and you're sort of being rewarded for it. So congratulations on that. I think it's an awesome story to tell, and we need to tell it as often as we can because it sort of gets overlooked. So I appreciate Coach, his dedication to the program, and recognizing what you guys bring, that you do provide a huge special piece to the program. And so I'm excited for you guys, and hopefully we can close out the next 2 games here and put a 2025 on the banner following up the 24 CVC championship.
And to piggyback off what Ms. Ruckel was saying, how do you guys keep a positive mindset and wait for your opportunity to come? How difficult was it, and now is it rewarding now that you're out there and contributing for the team?
I feel like it's definitely rewarding because we grew up together. Those are my friends. I'm going to be happy for them, and just like making sure we each get better at practice every day and pushing each other.
And how long have you guys been playing? Have you played since rec?
Yeah.
Little rec,
Yeah.
Kindergarten, first grade, whatever, all the way up. It's a popular thing. If you go down there to the rec program, I think they do a fantastic job of, we always talk about feeder programs here, and they do a great job, whether it's a rec program and elementary, and then even middle school and all the way up, and it obviously just keeps feeding our program. And volleyball is an extremely popular sport here.
Yeah.
We have almost 40 girls out for volleyball each and every year. So shout out to the rec program. And then you guys played as middle school as well. So you've been playing now for how many years? 8 or 9, 10 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Somewhere in
6,
that range.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for you, we kind of touched on it. You don't know when your opportunity is going to come. You get the call off the bench. How do you stay engaged in the game? How do you come out and shine when your opportunity comes?
I think a big part of it is just like wanting to like cheer on your teammates and like give them the energy that they need. Like yeah, you might not be in the court all the time, but like just cheering them on and giving them the energy they need to like keep doing good, and like just like cheering them, like yeah.
Go ahead.
Not to say, as we kind of talked about, there's a lot of home games coming up over the next couple of weeks. So how important is it playing in front of here at Perry, in front of friends, family, student section? How does that kind of juice you guys up a little bit more? Because obviously you're providing it on the away games from the bench, but having that crowd behind you.
I feel like that's a big part of like home games. I feel like especially tomorrow against West G, they're a good team. We've beat them twice already, but it wasn't an easy game. I feel like we're definitely going to need to be loud and have our best energy. We also play better when there's good energy, so it just helps everything flow when we're energy.
And then last year, our season ended a little earlier than we wanted to, right? We got sort of upset, even though that team we was a Holy Name.
Yeah.
That was a very good team. The record was about 500, but they played a very, very, very tough schedule. So it ended a little bit earlier than we wanted. So how do we or is one of the goals this year to go beyond our point from last year, and how do we accomplish that?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to go farther than we did the year before, and I feel like this group, we all work together really well, and just like a big part, working together, cheering on your teammates, making it all of our serves, and just, like a Kendra and Emily and Tatum, like their setter-hitter connection is like great, and Ari as well. And I think that as long as we just keep working together, we're going to get really far.
And as you watch this team from that first tournament to where you guys are now, what's the strength of this team?
I feel like just bonding, all of us are being really close. I mean, we've all played other sports together, like softball, so I feel like, and we have bonds outside of sports, so I feel like that really helps us. And just giving our all at practice every day and practicing how you play. Like, Shakib makes us listen to, like, videos before practice, and we go over our stats, and it just, like, motivates us to, like, do our best every day at practice and practice how you want to play.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like having bonds outside of the sport definitely help our play and how much like we work together inside the sport. And I feel like this group has done that a lot more than years before.
That's awesome. Great to hear it. Well, best of luck, girls. We have Orange tonight. We have West G tomorrow at home. And then the next Saturday, the 4th, we host our annual Perry Volleyball Invitational. Are you guys looking forward to that?
Yeah.
As seniors, so we're going to have 6 teams here. We'll have 2 courts in the field house. We'll have 1 in the main gym. So come on out on that Saturday morning. We'll play at 9 o'clock. We'll play 3 matches that day, and hope to, we'll have a chance to win that, I'm sure, based on what I'm seeing from our team this year, that we'll be right in the mix to win that championship on that Saturday. So, and then our postseason's right around the corner. The meeting for the postseason is on Sunday the 5th, so we'll know what our draw looks like and where we're at for our postseason run. So best of luck. We'll update everybody as we go. Before we get you guys out of here, just some get-to-know-you questions here. No wrong answers for any of these, but we're going to rip through them. We'll start with Mallory first, since she's right next to me. Mallory, favorite food?
Chicken tenders and fries.
Chicken tenders and fries. Any particular place that you like to go? You have a favorite? Are you a Canes fan?
Yeah.
Okay, Canes.
Yeah, I like Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Yeah.
All right. They just opened up the new one in Painesville. I've not been there yet, but okay. Wingstop. Good to know. Favorite subject in school, Mallory?
I don't have one.
No subject. No favorite subject. That's okay.
No.
Favorite movie, or if it's not a movie, television series, streaming, anything that you're watching now?
I like High School Musical.
Okay. Any hobbies? You mentioned you're playing other sports too. Any hobbies away from the athletics, whether it's volleyball or softball, anything else?
No, not really. I like going out with my friends,
Okay.
hanging out,
Hang
shopping.
with the friends. There you go.
Playing pickleball with my
Okay,
friends.
pickleball is good. Favorite app or game on your phone?
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah. Pretty standard answer.
Yep.
Do you have TikTok, Mr.
No,
Walters? No,
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I don't think it's coming, but
No. Okay. Favorite memory from Perry? We changed this. Used to say athletic memory, but any memory that you have of your time in Perry from the time you started here until now as a senior. What are a couple of things that you're going to take away with you once you're only about 6 months from walking across the stage and getting your diploma? What are you going to remember?
Obviously, it's hard to not say athletics because
Yeah.
it's been a big part of my life. I
Sure.
think Volley for the Cure.
Okay.
I like those games.
Yeah.
Flag football, definitely, because it's something I've never done until
Right.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's new, and not a lot of schools have it, so definitely those.
Yeah, and this year, quick footnote, OHSA is sponsoring the postseason tournament for girls flag football, so there will be a state champ crowned for the first time ever with girls flag football. It's just another step in the direction of making it a fully sanctioned OHSA sport, and the Cleveland Browns and everybody, the NFL has been fantastic promoting the sport. There's more college scholarships out there for girls flag football right now than almost any other sport out there. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and so maybe we'll see you back here in the spring, but I know Coach Allen is ready to go.
Yeah.
Mallory, visit any place in the world, where would you go? No, money's not an object. Where would you go?
Bora Bora.
Bora Bora. That's good. We've not had that answer. That's good. I like that. All right, Megan, same thing. We'll fire away at you here. Favorite food?
Pasta salad.
Pasta salad. All right. Favorite subject in school?
Probably English.
English. All right. Favorite movie or streaming series?
I like Star Wars.
Star Wars is all right. That's good. Hobbies. Any hobbies outside of all the activities you do here at Perry?
Just like Melly, like hanging out with my friends. I play
Okay.
pickleball too, so
Hey,
basic. But
well, I think the pickleball court is being built in Perry Village and supposed to be at Lee Leidick Park.
Oh
Really?
my gosh.
That's what I've heard.
That's awesome.
That we wrote letters last year asking because they were trying to get grants for it. So I do believe that it's coming. I think they're going to break ground in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be good. We need some lights, and we're trying to put some potential pickleball lines on the courts over at by the board office, the 3 tennis
Yeah.
courts that are over there. So we'll see how that goes. Favorite memory? Oh no, I'm sorry. Favorite app or game on your phone?
probably TikTok.
TikTok, yeah. Favorite memory? Anything? No, nothing's off the board. What are you gonna remember when you graduate from this place?
I feel like the football games are like a big part of it. I feel
Yeah.
like hanging out with my friends at the football game is like
Okay.
it's all of them is like fun.
Awesome. If you could visit any place in the world, Megan, money's not an object. Where are you heading?
Italy.
Italy. Excellent. Ladies, thank you very much for being here. Congratulations. Enjoy your Dairy
you.
Queen.
Thank
you.
Best of luck on the rest of the year. We'll update everybody as we go. Have a great
Thank
rest
you.
of the day. Thanks for being here for a few minutes. We'll bring up Jimmy next. Jimmy Ashburn is our male athlete of the week. Thanks again, ladies. Good luck tonight at Orange.
Had a big game this past weekend, obviously getting back on track with a win in overtime
Yeah.
against Geneva, 35-28. Take us through that game and how that ended. Did you guys feel the momentum shift, and how did you guys pull it out?
Definitely felt the momentum shift a lot. We thought we were definitely going to lose. We had ups and downs in there.
Yeah.
Freaked me out a little bit. I did not want to lose to Geneva. And when we came out with the win, everyone was excited, and we felt that special place in our heart where when you win, you start to get to win more and more. Then you get that feeling that you want to keep doing it.
Yeah, Jimmy Ashburn's receiver for 6 catches, 81 yards last week against Geneva. And as he said, it was a very physical game. We've had a very physical schedule. We'll stick on the Geneva game for a little bit and then work our way back maybe. But, Jimmy, the Geneva game, I did not like that John Camp printed last week that we had not lost to Geneva since like 1949 or something like that. That's no good because that just a little undue pressure. We don't need any more pressure. We knew they were going to be talented. We knew they were a good team. I talked to Mr. Nidzwicki earlier today about that game, and he's like, that's the best Geneva team we've seen in a long, long time. So hats off to them for giving us a run. But as you said, at the end of the day, we got the win. We made the plays. In overtime, we had chances to win it in the regulation as well, but we did what we need to do. So how does a game like that, an overtime game, exciting game, everybody's pumped up, how does it lead to, I guess, future successes? Can we build off of this and that excitement of that win, like you said, that special place in your heart? Can that help us grow as a team?
I think it definitely can. When you have tough teams like that, when you play Kirtland, Chardon, and Geneva, when you go into overtime, it shows you that we need to have more practice and fight more. Because then if you don't, then you're just going to lose, and then you don't know when your last snap is going to be as a senior.
Was there a little more pressure on you guys this week at all, or in practice? Because coming off the Chardon game, a game that came down to the very end before they ended up winning in the last 2 minutes of the game, was there more pressure to make sure you guys were 3-2 instead of 2-3?
I think there's a lot more pressure because the last 3 teams that we played against, they have not over 90% chance of running the ball, and you see in Kirtland and Chardon that we couldn't really stop the run up the middle, so we had to make sure that we stopped the run to order to win the games.
And it's been a brutal schedule. I don't know who makes that schedule up. He should probably be fired. I know Coach Keswich was not real thrilled with four physical games in a row, and we talked about that in the offseason. And ultimately, though, we made the decision to play Chardon, week 4 after, and again, certainly Madison is now. They lost 1 point to Holy Name, but they are a very good team. We go into Kenston, we win that game by 5. They come back, they make a run in the second half. Tough physical game at Kirtland, and then the tough physical game against Chardon. Had our chances to win that one as well. And so these first 5 games, we knew were going to be physical, tough nosed games, but at the same almost the volleyball, where we knew their early season schedule was going to be difficult. can these first 5 games help us when we need it in the postseason? And ultimately, that's our goal. We want to go as far as we can in the postseason. We want to win the CVC, of course, but at the same time go as far as we can. So how can these first 5 games sort of help us when we're in that postseason close game? Does a game like a Chardon game last minute, an overtime game, obviously sort of last minute, walk-off style, help us as opposed to maybe a Cleveland Central Catholic from the year before where, we won 41-7 and it wasn't much of a game. Can those games help us?
I think they definitely can. When you have playoff caliber teams like Kirtland, Chardon, Kenston, all of them, it gets you prepared and mentally tough for those hard games that you're going to have in the playoffs that come down to the wire.
And going against these tough teams, what have you learned about your offense? Like, has it exceeded your expectations? Are you right about where you thought you would be after 5 games with still room to improve once conference play begins?
I think we're below.
Okay.
Not like, I would say not on our guys, but more like I think we need to practice more and probably stretch out more because I know most of us are sore from these big, hard games that we try our hardest.
And how good do you feel our wide receiver group is? Yourself, you've got Justin and Brody and Greg, and Chase is out there. He's sort of all can run the ball as well, from run a jet and all that, and you run jets as well. So like how the strength of our team, we're not huge up front, right? We're not 300-pound guys up there. That's never been Perry's MO. It's weird because you look at Chardon and they sort of are, that's what they're known for is running the balls down people's throats, so to speak. Ours has always been a little bit more of a skill thing. And so how talented is this group?
Very talented. Even though we're smaller, we always give it our best, and we always work hard in the weight room to make sure we always have that advantage.
And obviously being a senior, seeing one of your guys go down and McCoy Richards in the Kirtland game, just talk about what he meant to you and the group of seniors.
What he meant to me was he was a strong leader that wanted to have fun but also win games. He wasn't here to mess around. It was his year, and he took it to his ability, to his effort until he got hurt.
And to play off that, obviously you guys know after the Kirtland game he's hurt. He's probably out for the rest of the season. Do you guys as seniors, rally the guys together? Do you leave that to the coaches, or was it kind of just understood that it's time to step up and right this ship?
Definitely time to step up. It definitely motivated us a lot when we lost Sean and McCoy.
Right.
So then we thought that if we got other people, the younger guys, the JV and freshman guys motivated to work harder practice too, and their games too, they would have more opportunities in big games if we needed them too.
And so does it make it a little, because you mentioned this earlier when you were talking, like you never know when it's going to be your last play, right? Mm-hmm. And now we've seen it firsthand in 2 seniors where they've lost their seasons to injury. So does that make it a little bit more special for you guys in terms of like, you know what, I'm going to go enjoy every moment that I can? Because oftentimes, I remember from my experience in high school, like you sort of aloof to that and you don't really, you think about it. But then when you see it firsthand, somebody's season's taken away, mean a little bit more to you guys? Like, all right, hey, I'm just going to enjoy every second of this.
Yeah, I definitely want to enjoy every single down and every practice, but I also want to work hard, but also have fun at the same time.
Right. Awesome. Great mentality. I love it.
From the first time you stepped on the varsity field to where you are now, where has your game grown the most?
Definitely working hard and definitely using my body and my speed to my advantage. From as a sophomore on the varsity field, getting a little scared and timid against going against varsity guys and working against varsity guys, until now it's definitely proven to help me out on the varsity field.
Have you always played wide receiver and secondary, pretty much from youth all the way on up? Are you playing a lot of defense this year too?
Yes, if we have a base, I would go at corner and play. And if it's like a Rhino against a run team, I would be on the sidelines at 2s, but mostly play receiver.
Do you like offense or defense more?
Offense.
Good. So conference play begins for us this week. For homecoming, we're hosting Lutheran West, and then our conference schedule will be Lutheran West, Orange, Harvey, West G, Hawken. That'll wrap up our schedule. A lot of points out there as well when we play those teams. What are some of our goals as we close out this, or start, I should say, the second half of our regular season and start league play?
I would say definitely work hard, and I mean they're not bad teams. If you let up easy, then they will win. You have to work hard every single down and snap. You can't just let go. We've done that a couple of times, and we let teams come back.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jimmy, before we get you out of here, let me give you a certificate, DQ certificate, meal deal in a blizzard. Make sure you take advantage of that. Before we get you out of here, just a few questions. Favorite food?
I don't have a favorite food.
No favorite food. That's two no favorite foods today. Any food, right?
Anything.
Anything. Okay, good. Favorite subject in school, Jimmy?
Probably social studies.
Social studies. Favorite movie, or if not a movie, a television show or streaming, anything you're watching?
I don't really watch TV or movies as much.
Film, right? You're watching film.
Always watch film.
Ready to go for the week. Any hobbies outside of athletics?
Fishing.
Fishing. Excellent. Where do you go to fish?
All over.
All right. Creek or lake fishing?
I like
both?
lake. I like lake fishing.
The lake,
more.
okay. Favorite app or game on your phone? Mr. Winters is looking for new apps to check out.
I've been hooked on a little bit of Brawl Stars lately.
Ooh, all right.
Okay.
That's good. You have to take that one down, Mr. Winters. Favorite memory from Perry, Jimmy? And we used to say favorite athletic memory, but there's so many different things I think that our school district provides in your experience from all the way up. And you're a senior now. You're going to walk across the stage in 5 or 6 months and graduate. What are some of the favorite memories you're going to take away with you when you do?
One of my most favorite memories is meeting the friends all the way, all three through elementary, through high school, all the exchange students, and definitely winning states. I think that was a big part of it.
Awesome. Jimmy, you could visit any place in the world. Money's not an object. Where are you heading?
Brazil.
Brazil. That's a unique one. I like it. NFL is playing down there now, so maybe we go. Yeah, they're expanding all the time. Jimmy Ashburn, Athlete of the Week for us. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Take your certificate. Enjoy that. And best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jimmy Ashburn. Again, 6 catches, 81 yards last week against the Geneva Eagles. And we'll look for bigger and better things from continuing from Jimmy as the season wraps up.
And you kind of touched on it. It's homecoming this weekend, so festivities this week. King, Queen, when's all that going to be announced?
Yeah, so our parade will be at 5:30. We'll start from the parking lot over at the elementary school. They'll head down Manchester and then turn right on Center and come into the school at that time. We'll have our King and Queen crowning at pregame. So at about 6:45, we will crown our King and Queen. We have our pep rally. We have no school for kids on Friday, so we're doing our pep rally tomorrow. Hopefully the weather holds out. We're planning to be out in the stadium. That's weather depending, but we'll have fun either way. On Thursday for our pep rally, we've had Spirit Week this week, PGA Day, Twin Day, all kinds of different stuff. And then obviously the game kicks off against Lutheran West at 7 p.m. Friday night, and the dance is Saturday night. So yeah, that'll wrap that homecoming week up.
A lot going on this weekend.
Yes.
A lot of the sports we talked about, and obviously concluded with the football game and the dance on Saturday.
Yep. And while we're here, why don't we have Coach Geswich? We'll get him up here to talk a little bit of football since we're on the homecoming conversation, and we can wrap up our other sports. Thanks, Coach G, for being here with us. Appreciate it. Overtime last week against the Eagles. I talked to Mr. Niedzwicki earlier today. Very good Geneva team. He said one of the best that he's seen in a while, and we got it done in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the resiliency of our kids was good.
Yeah.
You know, we made a lot of errors. Jimmy talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We made a lot of errors in that game, probably made it closer than it should have been,
Yeah.
but that was also one of the teams that Geneva's kind of been hanging their hat on for the past few years.
Yeah.
So they knew that they were going to be good. Supposedly they bought a bunch of fireworks to shoot off
Ooh.
for the first win since 1948, but they're going to
Yeah.
have to hold on to them for another year over there.
Yeah, for sure. That's I don't know if you heard I didn't like John put that in the paper, but I guess it was probably out there that we hadn't lost to Geneva since 1948.
It's a long time.
You never want to be the team that loses now, and it's sort of almost well, I'm glad to hear they bought their fireworks. They can keep them for this week maybe.
Do you use any of that as motivation for the kids? Do
No.
you bring that up to them at all?
No, our kids don't really worry about that stuff. Genuinely, our kids just kind of show up and work and then play. I don't think that they buy too much into any of that stuff. And even if you did, how long does that last?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? It lasts for a play or two, and then it's just your preparation kicks in.
And we've talked about it with Jimmy at the start of his talk. Obviously, we all knew that going in, our first 5 games are going to be, really difficult, especially, the last 4 in a row have all been teams that really want to run the ball and have been physical. But I heard you talk to the team a little bit about after the Chardon tough loss against Chardon, could have gone either way. That game didn't end up going our way, but hopefully we can grow from it and learn from it, and we'll take things with us into the postseason from that game that maybe a game like a Central Catholic or whoever from last year wouldn't give us. Any thoughts on that and how that can help us down the road?
Yeah, success is one of the worst teachers, right? Because you can tell people, hey, if you keep doing this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And sometimes you have to get burned by the stove to learn that it's hot. And that's some of the stuff that we did. And, the good thing is our effort's always there. The kids play hard. I think their body language is good. All those things are really, really good. But the football is oblong. Sometimes it goes a funny way, and it's and that's part of it. We've just been fortunate to be on the other side of it more times than not. And you go back and you watch that last play, and yeah, we could have done this or that a little bit different, but Chardon also practices, and they ran one heck of a play, and they gave it to their best guy, and their best guy made a play, which we've seen in our stadium and in playoff stadiums on our side multiple times. So sometimes it just happens. But, I do think that there's something to testing yourself in the non-league schedule. And that's what we did this year, somewhat to the protest of a particular coach sitting at the table. But TJ got good ticket sales. So
yeah,
it's good.
right. Yeah, we made a little bit more money than we would have against Central Catholic.
There you go.
Hopefully it does pay dividends down the road, even if it meant a loss this year.
And now that you're 5 weeks in, 3-2, you learned anything about your team, or something that maybe you were questioning maybe in the offseason that really has stood out through these first 5?
I think it takes a while to figure out who you're going to be as a team and what you're going to do. And honestly, when you're at such a small school like this, where depth is at such a premium, one injury can kind of change that anyway. Yeah. But we've had different kids step up each week, which has been fun to see. It has been exciting to see. Like last week, Jimmy, he had like 3 catches for -1 yards going into that game, and then he had a great game. And some weeks it's your week, and so watching those guys be able to step up and take that on every week has been fun and exciting. But you learn a little bit about your guys, and you become a little bit more comfortable. One of the downsides to the extended playoffs and extended season is you lose a week of preparation. And I've always talked about this, where it almost makes the first and second week feel somewhat like a preseason game where you're still figuring stuff out. And we kind of approach it that way. We want to win those games, but we're more so interested in learning about ourselves and who we're going to be.
And you mentioned the playoff system. Now it's down to 12. They've taken it from 16 to 12. So those first 4 teams will have a bye. So I know, I keep getting questions, are we going to have a game on October 31st? I don't know the answer to that. I can't tell you if you want to move Halloween off of that day or not until we get a little bit closer to the day. Do you, as a coach, from a coaching perspective, will you embrace the bye? Do you not want to bye? Is it, obviously college and pro, there's probably inherent value in a bye. Is it that way in high school, do you think?
One of my buddies coaches in Youngstown, so they have a bye that they weren't planning on with the team shutting down their program over there.
Right.
And so I was just talking to him about how they're handling it. I've talked to some other coaches just in the past about they've handled it when we've struggled to find games. If that's a possibility, what's that look like? Mm-hmm. Do you prefer it? Probably not, just because you get out of your routine.
Yeah.
But I think we also forget that these guys are 15, 16, 17 years old. Jimmy just turned 18 yesterday. So, but they're teenagers. They're adaptable. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is in the way that you prepare and the way that you sell it. So if we get to that place where we have a bye, I've got some ideas. And if we don't, we go about business as usual. Mm-hmm. So it just is what it is. I don't know.
And Jimmy kind of touched on this when he was on. The last 4 weeks have been grueling. Do you dial back practice a little bit, getting into the conference schedule, knowing that the guys maybe need a little bit of a rest after a couple of physical games in a row?
You play it by ear. One of the benefits to having Coach Christinger on staff is he knows all the science of it, right? And sometimes you get a gut feel for it, and you just watch kids, and you can tell that they're dragging, but he actually has the legitimate science. He puts the little harnesses on them, and
right.
hey, this guy's run X amount of miles, and he was doing this number, now he's doing that number. So there's constant communication there. There's a little bit of a feel thing for it, but you also don't want to get into a lackadaisical zone. I mean, football is a physical sport, and you can't simulate it without doing it. So it's a fine balancing act. But that being said, we're playing a lot of the same kids both ways. How many reps does Justin need running a 5-yard hitch? You know, can we get a younger kid in there and get them the reps and do those sorts of things? So it's a balancing act.
And the senior class, let's just talk about them as a whole, and obviously we've lost 2 seniors now with McCoy and Sean out. What impact has that had on this group? But let's just talk about the group of seniors that we have as kids and leaders and players.
I mean, obviously you lose 2 that are playing quite a bit and starting. That changes some things schematically, and guys have to step up and play in positions and roles. But for the most part, this senior group is kind of just kept pulling in the same direction, and hey, this is who we are, this is what we want to do, after the Kirtland game. And it didn't have anything to do with the score, but I think that was a very abnormal performance for us. I don't think that was indicative of the way that we play football. And I know that Chardon didn't turn out the way that we wanted to. I thought that was more so how we play, a more scrappy, tough game.
Yeah.
You didn't see 26 missed tackles. You didn't see those sorts of things that they're just uncharacteristic for our guys. And our seniors obviously always lead the way with that, right? And one of the things that I've heard other coaches say is you're always going to be used as an example as a senior. Yeah. It's just a matter of, are you going to be a positive or a negative example? And I think most of our guys want to make sure that they're that positive example, and a lot of those guys are. And we have the stars, the Trent Taylors, who are 3-4 year players. Jimmy, believe it or not, is a 3-year starter.
Right.
And he didn't say he was a JV quarterback for like 2 games his sophomore year.
Sometimes you never know when you need to fill in.
You just need to get a guy there.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoy about this senior class is there's also a lot of guys who have put in the work for 4 years and are getting their chance. The Justins, the Bradys, the Tegan Jacobsons, those kind of guys. Who now have those opportunities to play after putting in the work and sticking it out. And so it's fun to watch those guys compete.
That's
too.
Awesome. Yeah, we talked about with our volleyball girls, same thing. They're seniors. They're getting to play for the first time varsity. Meaningful, they were athletes of the week because they closed out matches for us last week, and they've been through the ranks. They played freshman, they played JV for 2 or 3 years, and now they're getting their shot. And that's what it's all about, because it's not always the Trent Taylors or the Emily Meckenbyers that you like to highlight those kids too, and they're great athletes. But those sort of you mentioned the grit and the sort of scrappiness. Those kids are that. Those kids that are getting a chance to play are sort of important to bringing that mentality to it. So,
and as these final 5 weeks come, conference play, is there an area? Is there a spot? Is there a unit that you would like to see cleaned up a little bit as you start to make that run towards the playoffs?
Yeah, we haven't been able to run the ball at all. We've got to figure that out. And part of that is who we're playing against.
Sure.
And what they see every week. Part of that is we need to just lock in on it and find what we're good at. So you asked, what do we do well? Or, have you found yourself? And we have a very expansive playbook, almost too expansive. So cutting that back. And I had a conversation with our starting O-line where they all gave me feedback on these are the 2 skills that I think I excel at. This is the one that I struggle with. So now we're gonna kind of cater those calls more so towards that. But that's going to be a big focus this next week or 2 is improving on that ground game because we have some good backs back there. And I think Nate has now shown that he's a serviceable quarterback that I think teams are going to have to respect that. So we should have the opportunity to run. And as you guys know, the deeper you get and the more weather you get, running the ball is something you have to do. So,
Yep, definitely. And I know you mentioned Nate, and then with McCoy getting hurt, I mean, both of them were playing and playing well. You know, it's one of those things. What can Nate do, you know, for us from a skill? Similar types of quarterbacks, you know, so we weren't running different schemes for them or anything. So nothing really changes on that front.
No, not too much changes for that. But the one thing that you neglect with a kid like McCoy is he's a senior.
Yeah.
And I was explaining it to someone else. Like, and I talked about, you know, he played JV 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
But what people don't understand about JV, unless you've played the game or you've shown up to a game, is you've got a lot of kids playing out of position, or some kids that maybe never move up to the varsity level. So McCoy never freaked out if 2 guys were unblocked. He never freaked out if a wideout ran the wrong route. It was an every play thing on JV. And Nate didn't have that experience. So Nate's learning, you know, because he played as a freshman, and then he was banged up quite a bit as a sophomore.
Yeah.
So he didn't play quarterback very much. So this is really his second year playing quarterback, and he's learning in the fire.
Yeah.
But I think the past 2 weeks we've seen that confidence level and that comfort level rise. And communication piece between me and Nate has gotten significantly better, to where he's comfortable sharing. Okay, this is what I do feel good about. This is what I don't feel good about.
Right.
So that's helped. So skill set similar. They each have their strengths and weaknesses and differences, but I think that growth of confidence and the mental aspect of it is happening in leaps and bounds right now.
Good.
And kind of to piggyback off that, after McCoy gets hurt, does Nate come to you? Do you go to him and kind of, I don't want to have come to Jesus moment, but like, do you guys just work the same? Did it change at all, or
no?
Did he understand? Like I have to take more of a leadership role, kind of thing.
What's interesting? I don't know when people say leadership, right? And kids aren't leaders, and kids aren't. Well, one, a lot of adults aren't leaders, and two, what does that mean? What do you need? The latest Hard Knocks, they were talking to Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, and they were sitting there talking to the coach of the team, and they were saying one of the best leaders one of the best teams that they'd ever seen were the Spurs, and they didn't have a quote unquote leader. Yeah. Guys just showed up, and a lot of that's on the makeup of your team. I think our team respects kids who show up and work every day. Right? Nate, McCoy, Walter, they weren't like rah-rah guys getting the locker room pumped up and those sorts of things, but everyone in the locker room knew that those guys worked. So everybody in the locker room has faith in and trusts those guys. And I think that's more so it. And as far as the conversation goes, it's just been evolving in that comfort level of, I talked to him, my last time playing football was 2001 at Sparky DiBiasio Stadium against Lorraine Southview, which doesn't even exist anymore. Right. Now, like them and Admiral King are now just Lorraine. I sound like Pat Janelle now. But it's
Mike Ryan.
So they have to tell me what they're comfortable with, because it all looks good when I draw it up. Everything scores when I draw it on a sheet of paper or on a whiteboard. I'm not the one who has to play, though. So that has been more so the conversation than hey, you have to step up, you have to be the guy. Listen, he knows that more than anybody does. I talk to people about, nobody stops me at IGA and says, hey, who's your starting right guard? It's who's the quarterback. Take the kid putt-putting. The kid's putt-putting 3 years ago, and Mr. Dame, hey, who's going to be the quarterback? Like, I don't know, man.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Thanks, Coach.
so you got to, it's just a part of the process.
All right, Coach.
One last. I mean, this is year 5 for you. I'm sure when you met to take this job, you probably had to lay out a 5-year plan. Something similar, maybe. Are you close to where you thought this program would be at this point?
I don't think I've ever laid out a 5-year plan.
I don't think we asked that question.
Yeah,
I mean,
and for a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm me. I can be in the unemployment line tomorrow. But it's each year is unique. In a public school, every year is unique. Every set of kids are different. At a school like this, the population fluctuations and things like that. Like, I look at the numbers in our middle and our elementary, and like, hey, they may be consistently around this number, but there are twice as many girls as there are boys in that grade, or that, and the other thing. Like, each grade brings a different makeup to it. So maybe this grade is skill heavy and this one's lineman heavy and those things. So the 5-year plan, if there ever was one, it goes back to the day one plan. Yeah. We're going to work really, really hard, and we're going to compete to the best of our ability, and then whatever happens after that happens after that. And I think that our coaches do a good job of putting our kids in spots, but our kids do a good enough job of putting themselves in spots to compete. So are we where we thought we were going to be? I don't know. I don't know, because I really just don't look that far out. Like, TJ actually texted me about a freshman game, and I was confused because I thought next week was the week after.
Right.
So I was like, no, we can't play that night. We got
right.
fresh. So, but it's not, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how the rest of our schedule lays out. I just don't know. So
All right, so we can play. We want to play freshman this week, Wednesday or Thursday?
next week we can play a Thursday.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
All right, so Coach, thanks for joining us. That's great insight into our program as we start CVC play, as we mentioned this Friday against Lutheran West, and so on. Obviously, the goal is to always go after a conference championship, and then we'll see. Maybe at some point in October, I can tell people if we're going to play on Halloween. We'll try to do our best with that. But we appreciate the time coming down, and best of luck the rest of the year.
All right, thank you,
All right,
guys.
thank you. Appreciate it. Coach Geswich, head coach here at Perry High School. Homecoming game Friday night against Lutheran West, 7 p.m. kick.
Yeah, so another exciting game. You come to the volleyball on Thursday
Yeah.
against West G. Stay over for football on Friday and all the festivities for homecoming and everything else coming up, and then they go on the road and then back home again. So there's still plenty of opportunities to come and see the football program
and
at Alumni Stadium.
For sure. And one other note that we'll get out there, and because we'll start to get questions as we get closer. We do have a Thursday night game this year. It's Thursday night, October the 9th. As Coach mentioned there, we're trying to figure out freshman games for that week. So, it's a unique situation. We're actually off school on Friday, so it's going to feel like a Friday night. We don't have to wake up and go to school the next day. It's NEOEA day. So everybody's off, and we're going to give that a shot. Thursday against Harvey. That will be our last. It'll be senior night.
Yep.
It'll be our last regular season home game. Hopefully we get a couple more, or at least one more in the postseason. But that's we've got homecoming here Friday. Then we're at Orange, and then home to Harvey on Thursday the 9th.
And the first computer rankings were released this week. Perry
Yeah.
came in tied for second in Division 4, Region 13.
Right, and the top 4 teams do get that bye that we've talked about. So if we do finish in the top 4, we'll have a bye for week 1. What's unique about this new system with OHSAA and only 12 teams is the top seed will still have the opportunity to host 2 playoff games. So we'll see where that goes, but we're excited about where we're at again through the toughest part of our schedule. And no disrespect to any of the teams that we've got to play. We just knew coming in. Look at the records and we're 3-2, and with 2 losses, and we're in second in the computer points. So that tells you the 3 teams that we beat are pretty darn good. So
Yes. And the 2 that ended up beating you are also pretty good too.
Very, very, very strong.
Soccer. Let's start with the boys'
Yeah.
soccer. Since the last podcast, they went 1-1 coming off a win against Geneva.
Yeah, Geneva was an amazing game. So it's 1-1 with the Eagles, and Charlie Kruger, our goalie, has the ball with between 15 and 20 seconds left in his hands. And in the regular season, we don't play for overtime, so we're thinking probably a tie, right? I mean, 99.9%. If ESPN had the percentages on there, that's what it was. It was going to end as a tie. He kicks. He has his nice kick all the way to midfield. Alec Burkholder gets a hold of it. Long story short, gets all the way to Colt Christinger, and he scores with about 3 seconds to go. A walk-off in soccer is with a minute to go, pretty much, because there's just not that much scoring that happens. But to do it with under 3 seconds, this boys' team, they did it a couple years ago against Ravenna. It was about 9 seconds to go, and that was exciting. This was it's just sort of unheard of. So hats off to, again, playing to the final whistle, giving it your all of the cliche stuff you want to talk about. But it really did. It really does work. It really does. And the Pirates came through, and they made the plays when they needed to play or make the plays, and we scored with under 3 seconds. So we walked it off against the Geneva Eagles. Beat them in OT on Friday, and then beat them in boys soccer on Saturday night in pretty dramatic fashion.
Yeah, and they have a game coming up at Lakeside on Thursday. They have
Yeah.
a handful of about 5 games left remaining in the regular season.
Yeah, 5 games left, and then same as volleyball, that draw for the postseason tournament is going to take place on Sunday, October 5th, so we'll know our postseason whereabouts and who we're playing, if we're hosting, if we're on the road, within the next couple of weeks. So, again, just that time of year, exciting time of year as we approach that postseason era.
And girls soccer, they're coming off a tie last week at Lutheran West. They have a game coming up at Orange.
Yeah, Lutheran West, a very challenging match, but we managed to shut out and couldn't put one in the net, but a very talented team. They were 6-3-1 coming into that match. We're below 500 right now. We play a very tough schedule on the girls soccer side as well. And so, not that our goal is to ever tie, but we were happy with that outcome. We're in an underdog role in that game for sure. And then we were able to beat Harvey last night, and we host. Oh my gosh, my everything's rolling together. Orange is next week, so who do we host tomorrow? Not sure, but we're at 7:00. Oh, it is Orange tomorrow, because then it's Geneva next Tuesday. So sorry for the brain cramp, but Orange, 7 p.m. this Thursday in Alumni Stadium. We'll take on the Lions.
Oh, good. I had that as an away game, so that's why I didn't ask.
Yes,
so
right.
that's good.
There you go.
The good
Home
correction
game.
there.
We
So
go.
that's perfect.
Yeah, we're busy. We've got volleyball in the main gym with West G, soccer in the stadium with Orange.
And then girls tennis, last week we had Coach Morris on. They're still 1 game above 500. They had their CVC tournament last week at Beechwood, came in 5th. They went on Saturday, lost at Beechwood, but then rebounded yesterday with a win.
Yeah, got a win on senior night against the Madison Blue
Madison,
Streaks,
yeah.
and we always good to beat Madison no matter what sport it's at. It's always a nice rivalry matchup with the Blue Streaks. So we took care of business on the court, and beforehand we got to honor our 2 seniors, in Kira and Quincy, and thank them for their time and dedication to the program. And their sectional draw is out, and we will be at Hawken next Tuesday. So same day, I'll be busy. I'll be running from Windmill Lakes up to Hawken for some tennis, from golf to tennis next Tuesday. So wish them the best of luck as they head out.
Yeah, and they got 2 regular season games. If the weather holds, they'll be at
Yep.
Hawken tonight, and then they will host Menor coming up tomorrow. Cross country, they had a meet on Saturday.
Cross country, yep, and they're just rolling along. They're going to be at Madison this week for the You Want to Come Back. It's nice to run that course because that's where the district meet will be. So I know, even though it's homecoming, it's one of our few events that we have on Saturday. But it's in the morning. We get it knocked out, and they'll get a preview of that district course just down the road from us in Madison. So I know they're always excited about that. We seem to always run it well. We're familiar with the course. So I know Coach Thomas and Coach Martin are excited to see what we can do this weekend at Madison.
So a lot coming up for all of the fall sports, finally getting a consistent set of home games here at Perry. So get out, support volleyball and soccer, and of course football and homecoming coming up on Friday.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a perfect way to put it. It's an exciting time of year. It's officially fall.
Yes.
We're in the set. We're truly just starting the second half of the season here for our fall sports teams, and just excited to keep bringing you good news, hopefully from all of them, and it'll be interesting to see where everybody can go and what the outcomes are as we get deeper into conference play, and then of course postseason play for some of them coming up, and some of them is we're finishing up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so a nice little run here over the next couple of weeks and into the month of October.
All right, Gene, thanks again. That'll be a wrap for week 5. Please join us again for week 6 of Walk the Plank next Wednesday. Until then, go Pirates.